Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that good? Welcome back to the show. Yo, listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Right to the two in the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that STL Music, mama, we did it, where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Never done, round, rubber rock stats, we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday, if this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy, when I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go.
What is up, everybody? Sweep the League is gone for Manic Monday. We're waiting for a couple of the guys to come in, but first off, we've got a couple of shout outs we want to give. We want to show you the previews to a couple of podcasts that are joining the network. One of them is the Best Boys podcast. As I try to get used to this whole new mirror thing that we've got, this whole new image thing we've got going. Also, the Lean Left, Lean Right podcast as well. Those are the two newest shows on the network. We're going to play a couple of quick commercials for them, see if Derek and Gio can jump on the show with us tonight. But for the meantime, before we get started, let's get off to some of these new podcasts that are joining the network here.
Are you a hockey fan looking for the latest on the Edmonton Oilers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and NHL news of the week? Barry and Carson Best bring it all to you on the Best Boys Center Ice podcast. They break down games, provide insider updates, and keep you up to speed every week. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join their hockey family.
Welcome to the Lean Left, Lean Right podcast, where spirited debates and open discussions reign supreme. Join hosts Rudy and Shamaya as they dive headfirst into the hottest topics in politics and beyond. They're all about seeking common ground without losing their passion for their perspectives. If you're ready for real talk and honest opinions, subscribe now and join the conversation.
As you can see, Derek Irvin getting ready to be entered into UTSA Hall of Fame. It's going to be on October 18th over at Pedrati's Ranch. You can get tickets to it to attend the Hall of Fame ceremony for Derek Irvin, amongst others for UTSA. It is their second class. Our very own Derek Irvin will be going into UTSA Hall of Fame October 18th. Now, October 19th, UTSA does play a home game. We will be there covering that home game. It'll be myself. It'll be Shamaya. It'll be Derek Irvin as well, as he's also going to be, I think they're going to honor all the Hall of Famers that game as well. So be sure to join us on October 19th for that UTSA football game. Welcome again to the Monday night edition of Sweep the League. Right now, it's just me. We're waiting to see if Coach Gio or Derek Irvin can join us tonight. But if not, we got you covered regardless, man. The NBA's tipped off already. Your San Antonio Spurs, we'll look at the game here in just a little bit. They got about a minute and 26 left in the fourth quarter. They are trailing the Thunder 109-102, but again, they're without Chris Paul, Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, obviously. They're out with a lot of guys there, so we're going to check on some of the scores for the NBA. Also, big football weekend, man. You had Bama going down, Tennessee going down, just upset weekend. Probably good for the Horns not to play this past weekend. But they got a big game coming up. We're going to have to preview that later on this week. Also, NFL action tonight. You do have Kansas City going up against New Orleans. We'll get the score for that here in just a little bit. Also kind of recap some of the games that did happen over the weekend here. So why not? Let's get started with, we'll go do some college football coverage first. Tim Gonzalez is in here. Poodle, Blue Devils, of course, Tar Heels suck. I like the new Spurs play-by-play guy. Yeah, he's pretty good. Jacob's pretty good. Detroit and UTSA legend, Derek Gervin. Yeah, we'll make sure I got to get my face in here right. Yeah, Tim, we'll make sure that we get Derek squared away. And also, do I like the 2-hour Monday Night Raw? Wasn't it already 2 hours? Or was it 3? I don't know. I haven't seen Raw in forever, so you're going to have to let me know. But I haven't checked it out yet, Tim. So appreciate you letting me know about it. College football this past weekend. We're going to go in through the top 25 games. We're going to see some of the scores. We had a whole lot of upsets in a way. We're going to go through a couple of them here. I'm just going to present the screen because we got to go through the screen here. I want to get through some of these games, give you a little bit of take on what we're witnessing here. So, of course, you saw Missouri. Now, if you guys remember on the Friday night show with myself and Coach Gio, we talked about the Missouri A&M game. I did mention to Coach, I was like, hey, the thing is that this is about the time of year we see Missouri, they coming in 4-0. Everybody thinking high of them. They're a top 10 team. This is about the time of year where you start to see them falter. They ended up faltering bad against Texas A&M. Wingman had 276 yards. Moss had 138 on the ground with 3 touchdowns. A&M just took it to Missouri. That was another top 10 team that went down this weekend. SMU taking care of business over Louisville, taking the Mustangs to 5-1. I'm assuming the Mustangs are probably going to be ranked. We got to get to the new rankings, but they're playing really good. SMU going through the other scores. Penn State, no problem over UCLA, 27-11. Georgia, no issues with Auburn. We figured that Auburn would give them a little bit more trouble than they did. They ended up handling the Tigers pretty easily, 31-13. Our team, our sweep the league team, the Indiana Hoosiers, taking on Northwestern. They go to 6-0. I believe they're number 18 in the latest rankings. We're going to get to the rankings here after we cover the scores. 41-24. Ohio State beats Iowa 35-7 as they continue to march into the top 3. Ole Miss takes care of South Carolina surprisingly very comfortably, 27-3. Bama goes down in Vandy, 40-35. The big upset of the weekend. Clemson takes care of Florida State, 29-13. Boise State and Genty. Oh my God, this kid is a beast. We're going to be talking about him all week here. They take care of Utah State, 62-30. Iowa State takes care of Baylor, 43-21. Michigan with another L there, 27-17 as they fall to Washington. Tennessee loses to Arkansas. Another big game, big upset there. Minnesota beats number 11 USC. Miami with the comeback of the night there in California. They win 39-38. Are they the best team in college football? We're going to have to go over that as well. Other games, we did see Syracuse beat UNLV 44-41, and Oregon did take care of Michigan State. Those are Thursday and Friday games. So Oregon did take care of Michigan State 31-10. I want to get into the rankings now. So let's pull up the rankings here for college football. The latest AP poll rankings, AP top 25 rankings. Your Texas Longhorns, number 1. Ohio State moves up to number 2. Oregon with a big jump to number 3. Penn State at 4. Georgia is idle at 5. They stay there. Miami goes up to number 6. Bama falls from 1 to 7. Tennessee goes from 4 to 8. Ole Miss jumps to 9. Rounding out your top 10 is Clemson. Notre Dame, I'm not so sure is going to be there at the very end when it comes to top 10, top 11 rankings. I don't even know if Notre Dame makes the college football playoffs. We're going to see on that. Iowa State, LSU, BYU, Texas A&M round out the top 15. You see Utah, the Utah Utes there. Derek Gervin's pick in the Big 12. They're sitting at number 16. Boise with a nice jump to number 17. Tied for 18. They got 3 teams at 18. I don't understand the whole tie thing, but Kansas State, Indiana, Oklahoma, 18, 18, and 18. More than likely 18, 19, and 20, but Missouri at 21, Pittsburgh 22, Illinois 23, Michigan's 24 now, and like I mentioned, SMU rounds out the top 25. So We got Tim letting us know that FYI Georgia versus Texas scheduled for 6:30 p.m. on ABC. Yeah, it's going to be a night game. There's no way that they're going to have to keep that as a night game coming up. But do you guys have any issues with the top 25 that was released yesterday? Texas at what? We've been saying Texas is the best team right now in football, in college football, defensively, offensively. Quinn Ewers starts off hot. He gets injured. Arch Manning comes in, just continues the dominance for Texas. Quinn is going to get the start when it comes to Texas and Oklahoma. Do you guys like that? That's the question. Do you guys like the fact that Ewers starts over Arch and Arch has kind of been balling it here? I knew for a fact there was going to be a controversy, even though it's a small one. It's a controversy. I don't have issues. Quinn Ewers, obviously, he's been the starter for a while at Texas. I have no problems with him taking over the starting job again. But does he have a short leash? That's the main question. If he starts to struggle, do you see Sark pull Quinn back and put Arch in? That's the question that we've got to answer going into the rest of the college football season for Texas. If you see Quinn starting to struggle, do you pull him? Do you put Arch back in? That's the part where we've got to see when it comes to Texas. Outside of that, there's nothing ever to talk bad about Texas. Both sides of the ball, dominant. As we've seen, we're going to see this weekend how dominant Texas can be as they head into a rivalry game this weekend here. I'm trying to pull up some scores here real quick for you guys so I can kind of give you an update here. We're looking at for the weekend. I'm trying to see the scores for tonight's game in case you guys are looking for it here. But nonetheless, like I'm trying to say is what are we worried about when it comes to Texas? I mean, they're playing OU this week. It's the Red River rivalry this week. If Quinn struggles, do they pull him back and they put Arch in? How much rope are you giving Quinn? How much of the leash are you giving Quinn going into Oklahoma? This is a massive game here. Huge game this weekend. Red River rivalry. You throw the records out. Texas undefeated. I think Oklahoma's 4-1. You throw the records out. This is going to be the game right here. This is what sets the standard for SEC right here. Both teams just joined the SEC. This is where it starts for both teams right here. If Texas can pull out a victory and a comfortable victory, you've got to consider them the best team in all the land. There's no doubt about that. I know everybody, a lot of people, including Derek, talk about Miami as the best team in all the land. Is it, if you're putting Miami in Texas, Texas has to get the nod. Miami has gotten lucky. Let's not be real. They made a comeback against Cal. And then the immaculate Hail Mary from Virginia Tech, which, again, I mean, there was no clear-cut evidence as to why you would change that call and not rule it a touchdown. I know Miami fans, you're going to hate me. I mean, but when you even got Derek Irvin talking about that probably wasn't a touch. That should have been a touchdown. It should have stayed a touchdown. And Derek's the biggest Miami Hurricane fan here on the show. He's even admitted to the fact that, hey, it should have been a touchdown. So Texas really hasn't been in that kind of position. So again, who's the best team? Is it Miami? Is it Texas? Are we including Ohio State and Oregon in these conversations? I mean, Ohio State and Oregon have looked really good. I mean, as we're sitting in the top 5, you've got 3 teams in the Big Ten, 2 teams in the SEC. I mean, we know the Big Ten and the SEC are going to beat each other up. There's no doubt about that. But when you're looking at Miami and you're looking at Texas, the 2 most talked about programs right now, because not a lot of people are talking about Oregon. Not a lot of people are talking about Ohio State. They're talking Texas, Miami right now. Who's the better team? Miami's been lucky to start the season undefeated. I'm going to just say that. They've been really lucky to start the season undefeated. I've got Texas. I've had Texas winning the national championship. I picked them at the beginning of the year. I'm sticking with them. I feel they're going to, win the SEC. I feel they're going to go into the CFP and they're going to run the table in the CFP, and you're bringing another national title back to Austin. So again, if you got any issues with the rankings, drop them in the comments below. Be sure to go to our YouTube page. Go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, be a subscriber. We're at 618 subscribers right now. So I want you guys to go out there, be a subscriber. We've got a massive weekend, huge weekend coming up this weekend, as we're going to be at Big Texas Comic Con. It's going to be myself, Shemaya. I believe Derek's going to be there on one day. I believe it's Saturday. He's going to be there. We're going to have some collaborations with other guys who run podcasts. It's going to be a fun-filled weekend. A lot of celebrities. Ralph Macchio, William Zabka. Jacob Eric's going to be there. I heard you want some tickets, man. Congratulations. This is what somebody stars watch. Hey, man, everybody's watching the Spurs game. It's preseason game number 1. It's on TV. We're going to get into some of that here as that game's just about finished up, or are finishing up right now. But congratulations to Jacob Eric. He won tickets to Big Texas Comic Con. But yeah, we're going to be out there this weekend. Be sure to join us. It's going to be myself. Like I mentioned, Shemai is going to be out there this weekend. Derek Irvin should be out there one day. So we're going to have a whole lot of fun, man. Enjoy it this weekend here. It's going to be a blast, man. We're going to take a little commercial break. When we get back, we're going to talk NFL. Also, a little bit of NBA. It's Rudy Campos Jr., Sweep the League. We'll be back. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, Rayne Fernandez.
We build a legacy, yeah, they know the name. STL music, it's a movement, not just a claim. Loyalty, respect, that's the code we honor. In the face of adversity, we stand stronger. We build a legacy, yeah, they know the name. STL music, it's a movement, not just a claim. Loyalty, respect, that's the code we honor. In the face of adversity, we stand stronger.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr., Coach Gio is off tonight, as well as Derek Irvin. They should be back tomorrow. Also, we've got a special guest on Wednesday. We kind of promoted it a little bit today. We're going to get the confirmation, but it looks like Wednesday night we're going to be going live at our normal time of 9 o'clock. We might have another NBA champion, former NBA champion, joining us here on Sweep the League. So be sure to be a subscriber so you get notified on our YouTube page. Go to YouTube, search at Sweep the League TV. Be a subscriber, man. We got another great guest coming up. Plus, we got Comic-Con, Big Texas Comic-Con this weekend. So you don't want to miss anything as we get dropped here. NFL coverage, man, tonight. You've got the Chiefs. You've got the Saints. Right now, Chiefs are ahead in the third quarter with 1:43 left in the third, 16-7. Mahomes has 216 yards. Derek Carr struggling, 85 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Rashid Shaheed with 2 receptions, 58 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt, he's got 65 yards of rushing on 1 touchdown on the ground. I believe he has a reception for a touchdown as well. So that's going on tonight. But let's get into some NFL coverage here. Over the weekend, you had the Jets and the Vikings over in London. Oh man, something's wrong with the Jets. I don't know if it's coaching needs to be changed. Robert Saleh probably should not have made the trip back to the United States. They probably should have left them there. Nonetheless, they need to make some moves quick here, whether it be for Devontae Adams or somebody. They got to make some kind of move outside of coaching. Unless they want to make the coaching move, then I would say make that coaching move because you're still pretty early in the season. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that guy. I picked him to win the AFC. I picked him to be the the AFC reps in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna stick with my picks. I don't normally change my picks. I mean, I have the right to pick another team, but right now I'm sticking with my pick. I think they can turn it around. But the Vikings and Sam Darnold, he didn't really have a touchdown. He didn't have a touchdown pass at all, but he managed the game. He was able to get the Vikings. Their defense came up big against the Jets over in London. Vikings are at 5-0. Ravens and Bengals. Now, can we pretty much write off the Bengals? I mean, Burrow went bonkers, 392 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 348 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. I mean, this was a shootout, man. You know, I think Gio had called it. It's going to be a shootout of a game. And sure enough, that's what we had. Ravens end up winning it at the end on a field goal. But I mean, the thing too is that this pretty much puts the Bengals, I think, out of playoff contention. As we do our previews going into week 6 for this week, we're going to look at that. But I think it's got to put them out of playoff contention. It's going to be super hard to get out for that 1-4 start and be able to make it back into any type of playoff contention. Bills and Texans in a battle of two of the better teams in the AFC. Texans come out on top 23-20. Kai Fairbairn with a field goal at the end. CJ Stroud, 331 in the air, 1 touchdown. Stephon Diggs with the revenge game. Everybody hates saying the revenge game, but with the revenge game, 6 receptions, 82 yards. Nico Collins did go out with an injury. I've got to check how serious that is. We'll have updates on all your injuries here this week as well, fantasy purposes as well as team injuries as well as the week goes on. But Nico Collins did go out with that injury. Bears and Panthers, everybody's on the Caleb Williams bandwagon again. He looked great, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. But I'm gonna come with the same type of energy that a lot of you guys came at me when I talk good about a team or a player. You said, well, it was against the Panthers. So I'm gonna come back at you guys and say, well, it was against the Panthers. Caleb Williams looked good against the Panthers. We're gonna leave it at that. Jaden Daniels taking the Commanders to 4-1, 238 yards passing, a touchdown. McLaurin, 112 in the air, 4 receptions. Deshaun Watson basically looks like he just quit on his team. It is time for the Browns to just move on. You've got Jameis Winston. I mean, at least Jameis is going to go in there with heart and try to make something happen. It's just time to either bench Deshaun or just cut his ass loose. He doesn't want to be in Cleveland. He doesn't even look like he wants to play football anymore. Just cut him loose. There's no reason to keep Deshaun Watson and that massive contract anymore. Cut him loose. Just forget about everything. Let it go. He's not your answer for anything. Again, the guy doesn't want to be there at all. Just cut Deshaun Watson loose. Colts and Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, he finally came in. It finally clicked a little bit. 371 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of the premier rookies this year probably has to go in to possibly offensive rookie of the year talks guaranteed. Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU, 5 receptions, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. The kid has been absolutely balling for the Jaguars as one of their lone, bright spots. The other question is, you go to the other side of the ball here. Joe Flacco comes in. Anthony Richardson, yes, is hurt, but Joe's been looking really damn good. And it goes back to we've seen the past couple of years. I mean, last year was Richardson's rookie season. This is year 2. Very injury prone. Very injury prone. Do you rush anything when it comes to Anthony Richardson? I mean, to me, the Colts look good with Flacco. I mean, if you want to win, you're sitting at 2-3. You're not completely out of anything. You may as well ride Joe Flacco as long as you can. I don't know. I mean, that's a very, very bad opinion. I'm sure I'll probably get flack for that. But I mean, the Colts, you're riding high with Joe Flacco. Joe Skinny is coming through for you like he always does for the Ravens. And last year, was it the Browns last year? I mean, you've got to get this guy in the game, man. Anthony Richardson, just take the year off. They look so much better with Joe Flacco at quarterback. Dolphins get and I'm going to say, a surprising win over the Patriots right there. I had the Patriots winning. I felt they were going to win. But nonetheless, the Patriots didn't come out on top. Dolphins win 15-10. Tyreek Hill with 6 receptions, 69 yards total. I believe Devin Achane went out with an injury, so that's going to definitely affect the Dolphins coming up here because, I mean, you lost 2 already. Hill and Waddle pretty much have quit on the team as well, so losing Achane, that's going to be tough for the Miami Dolphins. Sorry, I got a really bad my throat's going away, my voice is going away, so I got to keep a little bit hydrated there. Cardinals and 49ers. This is the game I told Gio. I'm taking the Cardinals. Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. 49ers going to win. There's no way they're going to be able to lose this game. Brock Purdy, Ayuk, Mason, the defense, yada, 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 yada. What happened? Cardinals win 24-23. I don't buy the San Francisco 49ers. I have not bought them this year. Said it already in many shows with Gio as well. That window of opportunity to win the Super Bowl all but closed last year. If you guys go all the way back in our YouTube videos after the entire Super Bowl talk, we were talking about it, and you've got to take notice of it. We've been saying the San Francisco 49ers window is all but closed. Their championship window, not the playoff window, their championship window is all but closed and shut. They've got an injured McCaffrey, Kittle and Deebo Samuel. I mean, injuries. Ayuk happy, but I mean, you're not going to focus. I mean, you'll be able to focus on Ayuk now. Brock Purdy, everybody was saying, well, he's a system quarterback. He's a system quarterback. You had one side of the fence say yes. You had the other side of the fence say no. Seems like he is a system quarterback when it comes to this. I don't know. Kind of call it like we see it there. Jordan Mason's been one of the few bright spots when it comes to San Francisco. Doesn't mean he's going to replace Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey should be back, I think, by week 7. But is it too late when it comes to week 7 for San Francisco? I mean, will they be able to turn it around? Still not over yet. Broncos over the Raiders. Hey, look at Bo Nix, my pick for offensive rookie of the year, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 victory over screaming at Sean Payton. Give him the win, standing up to Sean Payton on the sidelines. Broncos take care of the Raiders, 34-18. They go to 3-2. Broncos defense looks legit. Watch out for the Denver Broncos, Packers, and Rams. Hoo-wee. Jordan Love, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rams are done. Been trying to tell Coach Gio they've been done for a while. When you've got injuries to your top 2 receivers, the defense wasn't all that going in. The retirement of Aaron Donald does hurt. So the Rams were in trouble when those 2 guys went out with injury, and it shows completely right now. So the Rams are going to continue to struggle throughout the year. My boy Danny Dimes starting to look like a quarterback, Coach Gio. Ever since I ripped Danny Dimes' ass on the air on Sweep the League, and I said, you know what? Maybe Kyler is the better quarterback out of the draft. There was a fire lit under Danny Dimes' ass. And lately in those games, since the call out, what do you think, Gio? The guy's been looking like a quarterback, huh? He goes for 257 and 2 touchdowns, leads the Giants to a victory over the Seattle Seahawks in Lumen Field, which is in Seattle, Washington, 29-20. And that's without Malik Neighbors. Keep that in mind, without Malik Neighbors. And then you've got Sunday Night Football, as Ray Dean is in here. Told you Cowboys would win. Dak is very good. Never questioned Dak, Ray. Never questioned it. He's a warrior. Tim saying, Rudy Giants beat the Seahawks. They sure did. Never questioned Dak as a warrior. Never questioned him. White Ray, I mean, go back to past videos. I'm the one that said they have to sign Dak. They've got to sign him. If you're not going to sign somebody out of the three, you don't sign Micah. Micah defensive tackle, defensive end, wide receiver. To me, those are the two easiest positions of the three to fill through the draft or through free agency. You don't sign one of those other guys, either Micah or CD. You already signed CD. You signed Dak. I get it. You know what? Dak may not be the absolute best option at quarterback, but you're never going to get a Burrow. You're never going to get a Mahomes. You're never going to get a Herbert. You're not going to get any of these other guys. You may as well. You're not going to get a Jared Goff. Guys that are winning consistently right now. You're not. I mean, I say that about Burrow. Burrow's 1-4, but I mean, still, the superstar item that Burrow has. You're not going to get one of these top tier quarterbacks. The only way to get them is through the draft. So until you draft that guy, you just sign who you have. Dak is what? Second in MVP voting last year. I mean, he's having a decent year this year. Sure. The Cowboys are 3-2. I get it. Completely get it. But it's a very, very, very shaky 3-2. They've got a big, I want to say 5-game stretch here, but we're going to go a step further when it comes to the Cowboys. They've got a big 6-game stretch here. They've got Detroit coming up. Then they go on bye. Bye couldn't come at a better time. They come back with San Francisco, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Houston, Washington. I mean, you're talking 5 games right there against some of the better teams in the league. Not in the conference, just in the league. You still got Detroit. That's 6 games right there, including the bye. But even after those 6 games, you've got the New York Giants, who you beat 20-15 in New York. But the Giants are playing a lot better lately. Then they get lucky. They get the Cincinnati Bengals after the Giants. Bengals haven't been playing well at all. So they've got to take care of business. Let's talk about the 7-game stretch they've got. Starting with Detroit. Very tough game. Do you see them winning against Detroit? That's a tough one. That's a toss-up. They go to San Francisco after the bye. San Francisco hasn't played great. But you're talking about Christian McCaffrey possibly being back for that game. Difference maker right there. What is one of the things that teams can do? They can run on the Cowboys. No telling if Micah is going to be back by then. No telling if D-Law is going to be back by then. Then you got Atlanta. Atlanta is one of the wild cards in this. They look good some games. They look bad some games. Which Atlanta team is going to show up? You have the Eagles then. Eagles. It's a toss-up. Records go out the door when it comes to Dallas and Philadelphia. And they got the Texans coming in. We know how the Texans are playing. We know what they are capable of. And you have the red hot Washington Commanders. You don't think Dan Quinn is going to want to stick it to the Dallas Cowboys? You surely are mistaken if you don't think that. Washington's going to come in strong, round it out with the New York Giants. Again, it's a rivalry game in a division. No idea how that goes. Ray's giving us a couple of updates here. He figures Dallas is going to beat Detroit 28-17. Could happen. Could happen. Detroit has a very explosive offense, Ray. They can go toe-to-toe with just about anybody. But their defense is better than Dallas. So they, as long as they score on the offensive side, I feel they can stop Dallas on their offensive side. They've got to. I think Hutchinson is going to make it very, very painful for Dak that night in that game. He's also got Dallas 28, San Francisco 12. Depends if McCaffrey plays. If McCaffrey plays, it's a toss-up for me. It's a toss-up if McCaffrey plays. If he doesn't, I can see Dallas winning that game. I would say maybe 28-20, 28-24, or something like that. I don't think it's 28-12. I don't think they hold them to just really field goals at all. There's really no – I don't see them holding to field goals at all. Just field goals. I think San Francisco does get in the end zone. Ayuk will probably get a touchdown in there. Jordan Mason, I'm sure, would be able to run on Dallas as well. So you got to keep that in mind. But, as mentioned, this next 7-game stretch for the Cowboys, that it does include a bye week in there, it's big. I mean, the end of the season, they're fine. They have Cincinnati, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, Washington. They get a 3-game area right there where you got Cincy, Carolina, and Tampa Bay. All 3 teams are kind of playing. I mean, obviously the Bengals and the Panthers playing terrible, but Tampa Bay is one of those teams you just really don't know. I mean, you don't know what they get. He's telling me that Bland will be back for week 6. Parsons back by week 6. Give my boys love. Ray, I'm giving the Cowboys love. Gio's the one that said that they're not making the playoffs. Gio said they're probably going to win maybe 6 games total, 6-7 games total. Me and Derek had them winning 10 or 11, possibly. But, we show love to everybody, but we also call it the way we see it. You cannot deny, even as a Cowboy fan, you've got to take the Cowboy blinders off. You've got to take those sunglasses off. And you've got to see that this next stretch of 6 to 7 games is brutal for the Dallas Cowboys. And in the first 5 games, they haven't looked good at all. They've looked terrible. The 2 games they looked really good in was against Cleveland to start the year. And I mean, can you really say they look good against the Giants? I mean, not really. They really haven't looked good against the Giants at all. They've just looked good against one team, and that was Cleveland. And Cleveland is nothing to write home about. Yeah, so Tim saying this Sunday is the biggest opponent the Cowboys will face this Sunday. Yeah, I mean, well, this is the biggest one to start with. I think is the biggest one is this Sunday with Detroit. The season has been kind of chaos. It really has. It's been a chaotic season, but don't worry or to put too much on it because you see a lot of teams are struggling, man. Tons of teams are struggling right now. San Francisco is struggling. Yeah, they don't have McCaffrey, but they're struggling out the gates. You've also got who's another one? The Bills. I mean, they're 3-2. They have the same record as the Cowboys. They look a lot better than the Cowboys do, but I mean, you can consider them on a struggle. The Bengals are struggling. I mean, that's another team that technically is struggling on the year. I mean, we expected a whole lot. The Jets are 2-3. That's another struggling team. So this whole season, both NFL and NCAA, it's been chaotic all the way around. As you can tell, you see the Saints and Chiefs games, 12 minutes, 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Really close game. Chiefs have the ball 16-13. Chiefs on top of the Saints. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit of NBA basketball as it's ready to tip off already. Preseason has tipped off. Your San Antonio Spurs were on the court tonight. We'll do a little bit of recap of that here on Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr. for Coach Gio, Derek Irvin. They'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. Let's end this show on the right step here. We're going to talk some NBA basketball on the way back. Rudy Campos Jr. will be back.
Are you a hockey fan looking for the latest on the Edmonton Oilers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and NHL news of the week? Barry and Carson Best bring it all to you on the Best Boys Center Ice podcast. They break down games, provide insider updates, and keep you up to speed every week. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join their hockey family.
Welcome to the Lean Left, Lean Right podcast, where spirited debates and open discussions reign supreme. Join hosts Rudy and Shemaya as they dive headfirst into the hottest topics in politics and beyond. They're all about seeking common ground without losing their passion for their perspectives. If you're ready for real talk and honest opinions, subscribe now and join the conversation.
Pops the mastermind, got the team what we need. 5 rings deep, we the dynasty kings. From the Alamo Dome to the banners we bring. Respect.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr., Shemaya are on the beats. Also, Coach Gio and Derek Irvin should be back tomorrow. WNBA playoffs. Now, real quick mention, the Liberty did defeat the Aces. The first time that Becky Hammond is not heading to the WNBA finals. It's her first elimination as head coach of the Las Vegas Aces. Congratulations out there to the New York Liberty on defeating them and heading off to the WNBA finals. You've got, I believe it's game 5 between Minnesota and Connecticut coming up here, I believe tomorrow. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Get you guys set up for the WNBA finals coming up. It's going to be it's been a fantastic season so far. It's been an amazing season so far. I hope everybody continues to support the WNBA as you've got women's college basketball coming up next year in the WNBA. You're going to probably see the likes of obviously Paige Buchers coming out, possibly I believe of Juju Watkins coming out. I mean, you've got a lot of great WNBA talent, future WNBA stars coming out into the next WNBA. So continue to support the WNBA as much as possible as we head into NBA talk. The season did tip off tonight here. Let's get to some of the scores here tonight as we've got NBA tipping off here. There are San Antonio Spurs were in action tonight. The Memphis Grizzlies played against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, remember, that's preseason, so we're not really buying a whole lot into it here. The season's just getting started, so you start some guys here. I know John Morant hurt his ankle. I believe he'll be okay. I really don't expect him to be injured too much. I mean, the ankle, it happens. We'll get some more input on John Morant's ankle as he did sprain it tonight, but the Grizzlies did end up beating the Mavericks 121-116. Tim's mentioning 2 WNBA franchises next year. Yeah, there are going to be 2 more WNBA franchises next year. Hopefully San Antonio does get another one back. That would be pretty awesome. Rockets and the Jazz in the third quarter. Rockets on top of the Jazz 72-67. You've also had earlier the Magic and the Pelicans. Pelicans squeaked it out 106-104. And not least, you have the San Antonio Spurs in action tonight. Against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Spurs do go down 112-107. Everybody's eyes were on the rookie tonight. Number 4 pick, Stephon Castle. I loved what he did tonight. I saw a little bit of the game, 18 minutes of play for Stephon Castle. 5 points, 2 boards, 3 assists. He did a little bit of everything. There was a play, I believe there was an inbound play for Oklahoma City. Not necessarily underneath the basket, but he made a play. He got it able to knock it off one of the players from Oklahoma City. Spurs got the ball back. I do like his intensity. He looked like he was able to run the point really well. Of course, I don't expect him to be starting point guard with Chris Paul, also with Trey Jones there as well. So I see him getting minutes probably alongside Chris Paul. He could also get minutes alongside Trey Jones. So it's going to be fun to see how Stephon Castle is used this year. I don't expect him to be in Austin at all this season. I think he'll be a part of the main roster the entire season. I don't see him going to Austin. If he goes to Austin, it's probably one of those stretches where the Spurs are off maybe 3 or 4 nights. Austin has a game. They may send him down for a game or two and then bring him right back up. So the possibilities of that are there where he can go to Austin, during a kind of a little break for the Spurs, just kind of continue to get him some run. Tim is also saying about the play-by-play guy. Yeah, he did really good tonight. Didn't have any doubt in my mind. I think everybody wanted Dan Wise to be the guy, but I think I mentioned with Jeff Garcia on his Locked On Spurs that I think Dan's doing a lot of SAFC announcing, so I think he kind of just stuck to that. I don't know the real reason behind it, but you can catch Dan on SAFC play-by-play calls. So him and I believe Katie Goodman is also another one that does it with him. So they got a good thing going over there. Dan's got a good thing going over there. It didn't surprise me to see he wasn't calling Spurs games. Excuse me. Bronny struggle this. Excuse me again. Like I said, my voice is going out. Yeah, Bronny's going to struggle this season. It's not a matter of if he struggles, it's a matter of how much he'll struggle this season. But we're going to get into full season coverage here pretty soon, Tim. But nonetheless, tonight's leading scorer for the San Antonio Spurs was Champagny. Outside of that, Jeremy Sohan, he chipped in 9, Keldon had 8. Both guys played roughly 20 minutes, 21 minutes for Jeremy, 23 for Keldon. Harrison Barnes got 20 minutes in, scored 6 points. Nonetheless, you saw Malachi Branham were the other two guys in double-digit scoring for the San Antonio Spurs. City Sissoko played 19 minutes, looked okay tonight, didn't look really, really good. If you listen to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia earlier this morning for the preview, we kind of previewed Blake Wesley and also mentioned Harrison Ingram. Harrison Ingram ended up getting about 10 minutes of play, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Really, really good there. Blake Wesley got 17 minutes. What I liked about Blake was the fact that he was able to get 2 steals. He only had 1 turnover. That the biggest factor that Jeff and I talked about was he's got a fast motor. He's a Russell Westbrook type of guy. He just plays. He goes from end to end, and he tries to make stuff happen. The biggest stat on Blake Wesley tonight was 1 turnover. That was it. Loved it. Loved it. That's where we want to see Blake Wesley. Under control. He did score tonight, 3 points. He dished out 7 assists. This is the Blake Wesley that I want to see. I had no comment. In fact, I went as far on Locked On Spurs and said I think Blake is one of those guys that might be possibly cut at the end. Because remember, they have to make a decision on Blake come October 31st. So he has an entire month. Well, roughly he's got 24 days to make it known that he wants him to pick up his contract. He's got to do it. He's off to a good start. I will not lie. He's off to a really good start right now. So I'm going to say that Blake showed out tonight. Good job on that. I really do think Blake did show out. He was one of the guys. Harrison Ingram was the other guy that we were looking at. He played really good. I think he's going to be more of your Austin guy, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Ingram come up to the main roster. Got some injuries. You got some guys sitting out for a couple of games. I think Harrison Ingram is one of those call-ups that you're going to see from time to time. Malachi Flynn played pretty good tonight. I think he had about 8 minutes. He had 9 points in those 8 minutes. But again, the 2 biggest factors I wanted to check out were Blake Wesley and Harrison Ingram. Those 2 guys were talked about on Locked On Spurs. So I'm definitely glad and happy to see both of those guys balling out in the first game. Get some honey tea. I have some honey tea. What sucks, Tim, is that I've got Comic-Con this weekend. We've got a massive show. We got shows tomorrow. Wednesday, we've got a special guest coming in. Got to get ready for that show. Thursday, we've got show. Friday, we're going to be broadcasting a little bit from Comic-Con and also probably be doing a night show on Friday night as well. Saturday, we're going to be talking all day at Comic-Con, Sunday all day at Comic-Con, and then hopefully Monday we'll be able to get a break. We might take a break on Monday because it's a whole lot here. You're going to enter the health and safety protocols, Rudy? No, I'm not entering health and safety protocols at all. Really what it is, it's allergies. I'm not sick. It's allergies. It's allergy season. I mean, come on. When does Jeff come back on the show? I need to take a scuba flag in the Spurs jersey. Jeff's going to be on the show. He was on talking Big Texas Comic-Con earlier today. We are going to have Jeff this weekend. You know what, Tim? We'll ask him this weekend at the Comic-Con what he thinks about Cooper Flag. So we'll ask him that this weekend. Let's see how SGA takes the game to another level. So, it's one game. Don't overreact to one game. It's first game of the preseason. Give me a break. You can't go on Twitter or, you can't go on Facebook or wherever you kids are doing it, TikTok or Threads or whatever. You can't do that and say, well, the Spurs team looks like the team that we expected. They didn't have Wemby. They didn't have Chris Paul. They didn't have Devin Vassell. They didn't have a whole lot of guys tonight. But on the same token, Oklahoma City didn't have SGA. They were out of SGA. Lou Dort didn't play. The other Jalen Williams didn't play at all. I mean, they played Chet, but he only played 9 minutes. So you got to understand too, man. Like the team, the Spurs team are going to be improved. But I will say to you guys what I said to y'all last year. It's going to be a long season and just enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy the season. I would definitely not go in to the season with high hopes. Keep them low. Last year, they predicted 22 wins. I said 22 wins. They got to 22 wins. Vegas had them at 35 wins. If you were one of the guys that took the 35 wins and said, no, they're going to win more. Look at the win total just recently. It's down to 32. Vegas has them down to 32. I've got the Spurs winning 30 this year. Low end 28. Middle ground 30. High ground 32, 33. I think 32, 33 is probably the highest that I see them winning. But comfortably, I have them around that 30 win mark. 3-0. 8-game improvement. For like I said the other night, for those, fanboys out there, for the, the bloggers out there and the Spurs, the guys that have a podcast, not Jeff Garcia. I got a whole lot of shit from that. Not Jeff Garcia. But there's a lot of Spurs guys that cover Spurs, and they're high. Hey, you know what? Sell the team, man. You can sell the team, sell how great they are. The addition of Chris Paul, the addition of Harrison Barnes, and Wemby's second year. It's going to be look at it on paper. Just look at it on paper. I mean, you add Chris Paul, you add Harrison Barnes, you added a few more wins. You have the exact same team coming back this season as you did last season. And last year they were a 22-win team. The West did not get any worse. Sacramento added DeMar DeRozan. Minnesota got way better with that trade. The Phoenix Suns added a point guard. The one piece they needed last year, they added a point guard. You still have the Lakers with LeBron and AD. If you're looking at the West, the Spurs are right around that third worst team in the West, maybe. And if you call me an a-hole or a hater or anything, we at Sweep the League, we call it like we see it, man. Memphis, Considering if Ja's healthy. I mean, we don't know about the ankle, but Memphis comes back healthy with Ja and Desmond Bane. That's one team that last year was completely in the medical tent. They're coming back strong. The Pelicans added DeJounte Murray. Another strong team. The only three teams, or actually the only two teams that you could possibly put the Spurs over are Portland and maybe Utah. Maybe Utah. Can't put them above Dallas. Can't put them above Houston. As much as we want to, it's hard to put them above Houston. I mean, last year it took 46 wins or 41, no, 44, 46 wins to get into the playoffs. Let me get that for you guys. Before we go, let's get that for you guys. Because, yeah, it's going into last year. I mean, yeah, it took about 40, I think it was 46 wins to make the playoffs last year in the Western Conference. Can you tell me with a straight face? Can you tell me that the Spurs can win 24 more games this year with the roster? They added Chris Paul. They added Harrison Barnes. Does that add 24 more wins? Now, Victor, year two of Victor adds wins too. He adds victories. But with those other two additions, does that add 24 more wins? As it is, I think it's going to take 47, 48 wins to get into play-in. I mean, last year, Memphis was a 27-win team without Ja Morant, without Desmond Bane for most of the year. So add those two guys, maybe puts them 40. I mean, 39, 40 wins. That's a 12-game turnaround. So say we do the same for the Spurs, that's 34 wins total. If we give them a 12-game turnaround, that means that they're just better than the Jazz and the Trailblazers, making them the third worst team in the West. Be honest with yourself. That's all we ask here. Be honest with yourself. Go into the season, have some fun. We're not shitting on the team. We're not dogging the team. We call it like it is. If you expect this team to be one of the top teams in the West, bring it down a lot. Bring it down a lot. But hey, if it happens, then it happens. We're the first ones to say we're wrong. And we sure as hell hope we are wrong. Hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Gio and Derek should be back tomorrow. We've got a special guest on Wednesday, former NBA champion. We kind of hinted it today. If you haven't seen it, go to our Facebook page, go to our Twitter accounts at Sweep the League. We've been kind of teasing him all week. We've kind of pretty much got confirmation. So we're going to hope that we speed up to Wednesday so we can talk to this former NBA champion. So once we get 100% confirmation, we will make that announcement for you guys. You can jump in there, get some questions already asked so we can ask him. For Wednesday night, we have Big Texas Comic-Con. It's going to be a very busy weekend for Sweep the League, also for Jeff Garcia. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, major sponsor of Sweep the League. For Derek Gervin, for Coach Gio Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.
We build a legacy, yeah, they know the name. STL music, it's a movement, not just a claim. Loyalty, respect, that's the code we honor. In the face of adversity, we stand stronger. We build a legacy, yeah, they know the name. STL music, it's a movement, not just a claim. Loyalty, loyalty, respect, that's the code we honor. In the face of adversity, we stand in struggle.